I'm Jackie. I'm an Arizona realtor and have built a multi-million dollar business with my husband by using what I learned from being a teacher. Now I'm bringing the steps I took to leave the classroom and become a top producing agent and team owner. So grab your coffee, cherry vanilla Coke, or maybe even a cocktail, and let's begin. Hey guys! well, I have actually taken this recording for episode 26 to the airport. Yep, we are wrapping up our family vacation, and I had some time in the Tampa airport waiting for our plane. So I decided, why not use my time wisely? And what better way to spend my time at the airport, right? So, anyhow, going to create some great content for my listeners and my friends. Guys, this episode is about a topic that I get a lot of questions about from listeners and just my social media followers. Um, if you're new to real estate, this is what people want to know. How do I get trained? Does training come from my brokerage? Do I have to join a team? How much does this training cost? What questions should I ask my broker or my team leader to know if it's a good fit? Guys, the list goes on and on and on. And this is a very important part of having a successful start to your real estate career. Guys, having support and training can mean the difference from maintaining a license or having it for the first year or two until you have to pay your dues and then giving it up. It could be the difference between making money and actually losing money in real estate. It is creating enough business to leave your other job or basically just keeping now two jobs, which who wants to do that, right? Okay, so let's take this topic on. What do you say? Okay. Now, when I started in real estate, I was so excited. Like, seriously, I was so excited. Okay. I thought I knew enough to get business. I remember being in real estate classes thinking like, I know exactly what I'm going to do. And you'll never guess. Nothing that I thought would work actually worked. Guys, it was an utter disaster. I couldn't get leads. The leads that I got, I actually lost because I didn't know how to follow up with them and ensure that they would get into a transaction. Um, I was worried I was texting them too much, but then I wasn't texting them enough. Then there was nothing, and it was just, guys, it was a hot mess, right? I didn't join a team because I was like, I'm not giving any team person all my money. Well, guys, guess what? Zero times anything is still zero, right? It doesn't matter what you feed a team as far as a split on your commission. The team serves a purpose, okay? A team is going to help you out. Now, I'm not saying everyone needs to join a team because everyone doesn't need to. But if you want to go into this guns ablazing, get some leads, get your pipeline going, get proper training, have free things, then a team might be your thing. All right. But anyhow, I didn't join a team. I didn't have a mentor. My brokerage didn't provide a training program. I didn't get to know anyone at the brokerage, and I didn't advocate for myself. I basically did everything that as teachers we tell our students not to do, right? Okay. I was lost and I was destined to fail. Guys, your first year in real estate is no different than your first year of teaching, okay? It can be extremely stressful and you don't know what you don't know, right? Like, I knew nothing about how to plan for or run a parent teacher conference. Just like I didn't know how to plan or run a successful open house. I had never written report cards. Just like I didn't know how to write an offer or a listing agreement or any other paperwork. In school, I didn't learn how to create a classroom with good management, right? But lucky for me, I had a excellent mentor teacher. She had been teaching for well over 25 years, and she was a blessing. Her tips were practical, and I felt so supported. But guys, she was also 25 years past her very first year of teaching. And so much of her day today teaching was just second nature. It was stuff that she really didn't even think about needing to teach me because to her, it was just regular old stuff, right? So when the end of the year came and it was time to record grades for the year on the students' files, you also had to like attach like the year-end assessments. There were things that you had to print out. There was their attendance, all this stuff. Guys, I was so mad at her because she didn't tell me about it, right? But this was something that she was used to doing. and she didn't think about it. So does that mean she was a horrible mentor? Well, not at all, right? Part of being a mentee, and that's you, right? Someone who needs to be trained. The biggest part of it is advocating for yourself. It's asking questions. It's showing grace to whoever is mentoring you. He or she didn't go to school to be a professional trainer, okay? They didn't major in anticipation of everything that you will need to learn. But when you learn to advocate for yourself, you're actually going to find success more quickly. So let's think back to that first year of teaching, right? So I'm teaching through the year, things are going on. It's starting to get into that last quarter. What could I have done? Well, I could have said, hey, this is the end of my first year. Is there anything that I need to plan for as I close up my classroom for the first time? Well, guess what? Then she probably would have said, you know what? Get out your notebook, which is what she would always say. She would always say, Jackie, get out your notebook. We're going to write down some notes. Um, and she would tell me different things like that I needed to know. So, like, we would basically problem solve together. So, in order to problem solve, sometimes you have to be proactive instead of reactive. So, at that last part of the year, I was being very reactive. Well, what happens when you're reactive? Well, your stress level goes up. You're a little more anxious, right? All of those things, you're getting triggered, like it's just not good, right? So, let's say that you are going to do an open house. Okay, you're a brand new agent, you're going to do an open house. What are some things that you should ask? Hey, as I'm planning for my open house, is there any things that you would suggest to kind of help have a successful open house? Yes, have snacks, have waters. Really? Why? Well, because families are going to be coming through. And the one thing that will make a parent stop looking at an open house and leave is a whiny child, right? Well, why do kids get whiny? Well, because they're hungry or they're thirsty. So if you have fresh baked cookies and you have bottles of water, guess what? Those kids are going to be fed and they're not going to be thirsty, and those parents are going to stay, and you're going to be able to have longer conversations. Okay, guys? So part of being a mentee, which is the person being trained, is advocating for yourself. All right, so how can you do this? All right, you got to ask questions, obviously. You need to read some books about real estate. You need to follow successful realtors either on social media or in person, right? You need to see what they're doing. What are they saying? Get plugged into groups of agents. And I don't care if they're with your brokerage or not. Guys, I'm here to tell you, you can learn from anyone at any brokerage in any state. Now, could their paperwork be different? Yes, absolutely. Okay. Everything could be different. But as far as actually being a real estate agent, you can learn that from anyone, anywhere. Prospecting. Prospecting was a word I knew nothing about when I first got licensed. Okay. Just like PLCs had no idea what in the heck a PLC was. I thought maybe, I don't even know what I thought that was, right? Until I became a teacher. I didn't know what an IEP was until I was a teacher. I didn't know what a SABARC was until I became a teacher. All of these different words that we don't know until we get into the field. So prospecting was a word that I had no idea. Okay. But it's something that will make or break your career. Some people are magnets for business. Okay. They could just go out there, smile, and everyone automatically loves them. Guys, that was not me. I had to work for my business. I had to work for my leads, and it was a lot, right? I also spun my wheels and I wasted so much time doing things that weren't going to bring me business. Okay. So you want to know the trick? You want to know the trick on how to be a successful real estate agent? Okay, then listen up because I'm getting ready to tell you. Okay, you heard it here. Me, Jackie Durbin, top producing agent in Arizona, team owner, multi-million dollar producer. The way that you are going to be in the top is by being uncomfortable. Yep, you have to be uncomfortable. Okay, how uncomfortable are you willing to be? Now, that can mean a lot of things to different people. I'm not talking about being uncomfortable because you're in a certain outfit or being uncomfortable because you're wearing high heels. Okay. I'm here to tell you, if you are a good real estate agent, people do not care what you are wearing. They care what comes out of your mouth and how you treat them. They care that you are taking into consideration that they are either purchasing or selling their biggest possession. Okay. But let's think about it this way. A caterpillar does not become a butterfly by being comfortable. The better, or that caterpillar doesn't just sit around messaging a few friends, making some posts on social media. Heck no. That caterpillar gets all tight up in that cocoon, right? Can't move around, probably hot. It might even stink in there, right? You have to get all tight. You have to spend your days on the phone. You have to call people that you know, and you have to call people that you don't know. And if that's uncomfortable, guess what? That's one of the things that you have to do. You have to do open houses every single day if you can. I mean, what else are you going to do in the beginning, right? Take pictures and record reels? No, that's not going to help you in the beginning. Now, should you have a presence on social media? Absolutely, 100%. However, in the beginning of your real estate career, that should be on the side. That should be on the back burner. Okay. You should be doing that stuff at times when you could not host an open house. All right. You need to knock on doors. Yes, I'm going to tell you, you have to knock on doors. All right. You have to meet your neighbors. You have to introduce yourself. You have to meet the other business owners in your neighborhood. Guys, think for a second. Think back to that very first school, that very first classroom you taught in. What was your first year like? Okay, here was mine. Okay. The school that I taught in was in a rough area, we'll just call it that. Okay. High in crime, high in poverty, lots of drug use, like lots of gang activity. Okay. So it was not an area that I was accustomed to be in. So was I uncomfortable? Yes, sure as heck was. Okay. Walking into that classroom, I was 100% the minority. I was the only white female teacher on my entire floor. I was only one of four white people in the entire classroom. Yep, that included the kids. Um, and it was uncomfortable for me. Not uncomfortable for me for maybe a reason that you think. It was uncomfortable for me because of my background and my own schooling. I wasn't used to being around people that were a different race or a different religion or, a different socioeconomic background. I just wasn't used to it. And so it was uncomfortable. But I knew that I had a talent. I knew that I had a gift to teach. I knew that I could get the job done, but I had to be okay with being uncomfortable. And it was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable early in the morning during the winter when I would get out of my car and it was still dark and I had to walk down an alley to go into my school. It was uncomfortable when I had to call a parent and worried that they thought that I was calling them because I was racist and that I didn't have their child's best interest at heart. It was uncomfortable that I was the only new teacher in that entire school. Yeah, guys, just about every single person that taught there had been there for at least 20 years. They had so much more experience than me, and it was intimidating. It was super intimidating. However, I had to figure out and ask myself, how uncomfortable was I able to be? So, guess what? I got really uncomfortable. I asked questions, and I asked questions that, like, were kind of embarrassing to ask. Like, um, how do I talk to a parent that I think doesn't like me? Yeah, I had parents that I figured didn't like me. Um, how do I tell this student that they don't smell good? How do I ever so kindly tell this mom, hey, your child said that they didn't have food in their refrigerator. I'd like to gift you this money so that way you can buy groceries for your kid and not sound pompous. Like, those were the types of questions I had to ask. But I also had to ask questions like, how do I use this copy machine? Or it says it's jammed, but I can't find the paper. I also had to ask questions like, why am I not allowed to use the laminator? Like, I have a master's degree. Why am I not allowed to use the laminator? Uh, I had to ask questions like, I need to find this book, but I can't remember how to use the Dewey Decimal System in the library. Guys, there were so many questions I had to ask. If I had sat there and not asked questions, if I would have just tried to fake it until I made it, who would have been hurt? It would have been the students. The students would have not gotten the best education. They would not have gotten the best of me. And I knew that this was something that I was destined to be. I always wanted to be a teacher. So here's the thing. Let's talk about real estate now. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable. And the reason why is because if you don't, the clients, the people who are trusting you in their biggest purchase, guys, you may be working with clients who are buying $1 million properties. You can't be an idiot. You have to know who to go to for questions. That does not mean that you have to know the answers to every question. Heck no, especially in your first year. Even in my 4th year of real estate, I still don't know all the answers, but I know who to go to. And I'm okay to go to someone and say, I don't know the answer. Will you help me? Those are the types of things you have to do. Because if not, those clients are going to work with you that one time and that's it. You're going to have a revolving door of clients, and that is not something that you want. That's not how you become a top producing agent. That's not how you stop having to lead gen. Heck no. You want to make sure that your clients love you so much that they want to always come back. Guys, if you are thinking about a switch to real estate, I would love to support you and bring you in our collective group of agents. We have partners in multiple states, and through our coaching, training, and support, they are leaving the classroom and going full time. But maybe that's not your thing. That's okay. I can also help you to supplement your income and save for your future. Let's connect and chat on ways that I can help you reach your goals. Going into real estate can seem scary. Starting something new can be a challenge, but yes, you keep the attention of 24 to 32 children a day for 7 hours. You maintain peace in a sea of hormones and body odor. You can do this, and I'm here to help. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Jackie Durbin AZ and at Teachers in Real Estate. Also, like, share, and rate this podcast. And if you need help or have state-specific questions, reach out to me and I'll gladly help. Thanks for listening, guys. See you next time.